Hey, what's up? What's going on out there? I was checking out this video with Richard Spencer. And for those of you who don't know who Richard Spencer is, he's basically one of the people that coined the term alt-right. Well, allegedly, that's what he says. He's just one of these white conservative guys. And he was just on a podcast talking about how he's basically getting tired of certain talking points within that group. And I thought it was interesting. So I'm going to let the video play and leave my 1-2.
There's been Jared Taylor and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm fine with it. I have to be honest though. I get bored with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll hear these like blasts from the past doing a podcast, and I get it. It's like black IQ is low and crime is high, and we're well behaved, and we score very highly on the LSAT, and Asians too, and also the Ashkenazis, and we need our own country. It's just sort of like, okay, I get it, but the fact that it's always one thing I have noticed about nationalists in general, and I guess Christian nationalists or white nationalists is two things. First off, they seem to have a kind of ill-defined conception of where all this is leading, like what it means to have a white country. Well, we're
It's crazy that he's saying this because he was one of the bigger proponents of this whole quote unquote white country, or like leading that type of movement. And I think I think he's just kind of having like an aha moment. Like it's not going anywhere. It's not leading us anywhere because the country is not going in that direction. Like, I'll put it like this: you have two different train of thoughts with so-called white people. You have more conservative views, and you have more liberal views, and these ideologies go back and forth battling. So it's no one strong so-called white viewpoint that can that'll be able to overtake the country, if that makes sense to you all. Like, that's not going to happen. The more And I think the more and more he thinks about it, it's like it's frivolous and it's not going to matter at all. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, what are we gaining from doing this, and what are we gaining from saying this about these people? Even if some of the things that I'm saying is true, like, what's the end game? That's what it sounds like to me. And the side note, dude sounds a little sus to me. Like, he sounds a little zesty to zesty to me a little bit too.
Even if we had a white country, if I like snapped my fingers and all non-Bavarian phenotypes, evaporate.
That's a little. He slid that in there. That was kind of slick, trying to slide in that Aryan type of viewpoint. And for those of you who don't know, like, I can't even call it common knowledge because I don't think it is. Like, the whole Aryan race, that mythical race that so-called Caucasians come from this superior race that Hitler pushed. And I can't think of the other guy's name. It was it was before Hitler. It was like right before Hitler, but I can't remember his name right now. But it was another guy. It was a French guy, Gobineau, who pushed that Aryan train of thought that so-called white people were the superior race and they came from this stock of people. Now, supposedly or allegedly or whatever word you want to use, those peoples came from the Eurasian steppe area and they went into India and they kind of intermixed with the people there. Supposedly that's what the history is of those people. Or you can just go the language route and say just different Indo-European languages came from these people mixing with other people. But as far as like the Bavarian features and all this type of stuff, if anybody who knows real history knows that Germany, and I might go over a lot of people's head with this, Germany, the Holy Roman Empire, was a so-called under black rulership. So this Bavarian phenotypes he's alluding to is not necessarily true. And another thing you can look up is Ben Franklin's. He had wrote like an essay or something like that about the history of the increase of mankind in history or something like that. I'm probably saying the words wrong, but you can look it up. and he's talking about like how different people look around the world, and he talked about Germany being a swarthy or tawny nation, and how Americans shouldn't take on their views or take on their look. Again, I can't think of it's called like the merit, like the increase of mankind. You all can look it up. It's out there if you want to look into it. But when he said that, that's the first thing that triggered me. It was like, wow, like he tried to sneak that whole little ideology of Aryan superior race thing in there.
Or something. We're still in decline, by the way. Like, we are still facing every single problem.
But not maybe not either. But white people have a lot of problems too, with like drug addiction, porn addiction.
Exactly. Yeah. We're still.
He said white people got problems too, like like porn addiction. Dude, crazy.
Still facing this crisis, so you're not really offering a solution. You're sort of out of resentment, expressing some kind of criticism of other people, who that criticism might be fair in many ways,
in some aspects, but they're trying to put all the way. No, I think some of it's fair, some of the arguments, but it wouldn't fix all our problems.
Right.
Maybe some things be better, but overall, and it's also how realistic is it? I try to be like, what's realistic? You know, guys like Arvell, he's doing his own land for white people. That makes sense. You're doing some small areas.
Yeah.
But some of these guys just think it'd be so easy to like get rid of every non-white person. Like that's not
right.
happening.
Right. I guess.
And I'm gonna let the in the video right there, and the dude that's talking, like the moderator or whatever, I think he was like he used to do MMA or whatever, and it sounds like he's making a lot of sense to Spencer. He was just like, well, so-called white people have problems too, and eliminating these certain groups of people is not going to get rid of those problems at all. And like I said, either Richard Spencer is having an aha moment where he's hit his head on the proverbial, like he can't go any further with that viewpoint. If he's trying to elevate himself on getting on a bigger platform, like it's not working. That's what it is. Either one of those two for him. But I thought the video was interesting. You know, leave your commentary. Let me know what you think.